Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So, we will be speaking only in English, or would you prefer a mixture of Hindi and English? Only English, okay. So, today we have a very important subject, water stewardship. We all know that we live in a country where we have very little per capita water availability. This was so much discovered about 13-14 years ago when these figures came out that now we are in water scarce zone and we must do something. So what should we do? For that, we must know where the water is being used. We are one of those countries where as high as 85% of our water is used for agriculture. Most of the speakers that you will see here on the panel today would be focusing largely on the remaining 15%. But some of them are also focusing on the main part, which is the main agriculture use. Now, within agriculture, where is the water going? Out of that 85%, 50%, yani 50% of 85%, maybe 40% or 50% is going in rice. 10-15% or in some cases even 20% is going in wheat or sugar cane. So these three are highly water utilizing crop. Rice, sugar cane, and then comes other crops. But livestock is also one area where there's a lot of water which is going, in some cases 10%, 15% or even 20%. So now we know where we should focus on our work. Within that area, which are the geographies where the problem is the maximum? That is also slightly linked with where these crops are, that is rice, wheat. So Haryana and Punjab, the problem is very, very bad. If the water table was 10 meters about 30 years ago, now the water table has gone down to 30 meters. So if it is 30 meters today, next year it will be 31, and the following year it will be 32 and 33 and 34 and 35. That means we are going towards hell. Maharashtra is also one area where there is problem. So Maharashtra has problem because of various other reasons. And one of that is Maharashtra farmers are generally very progressive farmers. So because they are progressive, they also use a lot of water for their irrigation because they have gone to the intensive agriculture in many cases. And also they have sugar cane. So can you see, wherever these crops are there the water problem is the highest. So today we will learn from this panel one by one as to what they are doing. Learning from that, they will bring in some cases very, very micro solutions. For example, Lindström will bring a very, very micro work that they are doing, and learning from that, how we can take that and apply that learning to other areas. That is the main objective. The second main objective is when we learn something from here, something from here, something from here, and then we combine it and come to our solutions, or maybe come to our new ideas which get created in a fantastic place like this. I request the organizer, Sonal, if you could kindly go across there, and because of the tea, there's a lot of noise which is traveling inside. Either close the door or request them to come inside, or whichever way, so that we are able to achieve something in this session. Are we okay with that? And I doubt we will have any time left for the question answer session. So question answer session probably will have to be taken over the break or over the lunch. You can meet them directly, because this session is a very popular session. So that's why you see the entire panel is full of people, and we cannot give them 5 minutes, because if we give them 5 minutes, we'll be sitting here till lunch. So everybody will speak for only 4 minutes, requesting everybody to do not exceed your introduction by 4 minutes, because if you do your introduction only in 4 minutes, you will not get the chance again. Your time is up. Okay. So fortunately, organizers wrote women first. So they wrote Anagha's name first. So Anagha, you start first and tell us, is there anything that we are missing in this world today? Do we have a hope? Or because of the fact that the government after government, they say, Bijli maaf, pani maaf. That is fine. Bijli maaf means pumping maaf, right? Or pump ek baar paisa de diya. If once I have paid for the pumping connection, I'm not being charged for the volume of water. Whether I draw 1 liter, 0 liter, or any number of liter, my charges are fixed, because there is no electricity cost and there is no cost related to the volume of water that I draw. So it looks like that the God has given water free. Imagine if God had a back office and was giving out the debit notes to you for every water or every inch of environment that you degraded, you would stop. So the government is not stopping you. The farmer will, of course, would want to maximize its own yield. Water is free. Why not increase my yield? So all that what you are saying or doing probably is at the counter purpose with the interest of the farmer. Because farmer's job is to maximize the yield, maximize the profit, and therefore maximize the water use. And at the same time, all the thinkers who have come here, they want to ensure that 30 meters, which is approximately 100 foot of water, which will become 103 next month, should not become 103, should become 97 next year, instead of becoming so the water table should not drop, it should again start to rise. So that's the objective. So Anagha, you have first of all give a very brief introduction about you, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and then also give an opening statement. We'll come back to you. Okay, thank you.
Sure. So thank you, sir, and good morning to all of you, and big thank you to the organizers for taking this on priority. My name is Anagha Mahajani. I am part of Ambuja Foundation, which is an implementing organization which has a pan-India expanse. We are in 61 districts across 13 states. We work on water. In fact, water is our priority. And if you ask me why, I would say it is the priority of the people that we work with, irrespective of geographies, and we have diverse geographies that we work in. We understand that water related issues can be segmented into 3 major categories. Either people have issue in terms of having access to drinking water, or it is ability to harvest the rainwater, and the third, the most important but something which is being neglected by all of us for decades, is the judicial use of existing water. We are also, as sir said, we are also a very privileged nation that we have a good rainfall across many of our geographies. So the point is that water has to be an holistic approach, is the learning that we have had in the last 3 decades of our work pan-India. And we also understand that water is not a technical subject, it is a socio-technical subject. And when I say so, what I'm trying to say is the site selection investment that we need to make, the initial huge investment that we need to make, in getting water structures is maybe the technical part of it, but the other part, and which is critically important, is the engagement of community and convergence with government. And that's why I'm saying that it is, we understood that it's a socio-technical work. So I'm going to pause, sir, respecting your advice.
Thank you so much. So, Mike, for you. So, Khurram Naayaab, uh, the topic is becoming a little technical because Anagha said it's socio-technical. So, can you help us to simplify it? You work with the Nandghars, right? And you work at the grassroots of people. Is there any water work that you do? And can you please explain in a layman's language, but within English?
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. First of all, good afternoon, good morning, everyone, and thank you, organizers, for inviting us here. Mr. Sethi, you are really right. In fact, at the moment, let me just introduce first. Like Khurram Naayaab, I work for the Vedanta group. I head the CSR operations of the project called Project Nandhar. But like I come from a place. In fact, I've worked in Barmer. We have 17 business units pan India, Vedanta Group, and I come from Kane Oil and Gas, which is headquartered in Barmer, and we take out the crude from Barmer itself. And if you've known Barmer, which is western Rajasthan, which is closer to the Pakistan border, also, it's a totally arid land. There's no water out there. When we talk about water, there's zero water as such. I can tell you that. In fact, it is very difficult for the PhD to come out with the water source. Secondly, if you can find a water, the water is contaminated. Thirdly, the water out there is having TDS of 17,000 to 30,000 TDS with high fluoride content. So that is the demography which I am giving you of that. So what we did in Barmer itself was 3 or 4 different projects. I just quickly tell you that. The farmers were facing a lot of problems. They were harvesting just one crop, and that too was the millet. So I'll request everyone to just go into the millet. Last year was the millet year, which Prime Minister announced, which is saving, as colleague pointed out, that rice is a crop which takes a lot of water, in fact. So if you move into the millet thing, it's really easier for this thing. So first thing was that we went and did some technological research on the millet farming and give so that water could be saved there. That was one thing. Secondly, we did the watershed management, like natural resource management, developing those khadeens, which is check dams to save water. Thirdly, we through the community help, we raised the village ponds. We desilted it through the community itself, and also through the community JCBs and all. We could dig it deep, so that whenever there's rainfall in Badmir, what happens is that the rainfall is there for 9 days in a year, and but that 9 days is not distributed evenly. It is just like one fine day you will get up in the month of monsoon, you see it'll be raining heavily. So it rains at least like 10-12 days continuously there. So how do we store that water? So that is why we dug those ponds. We did those water harvesting structures, because of that itself, we were able to like the farmers could be able to yield 2 crops in a year at the moment. So that's all at the moment. Let's
Thank you, Khurram. So when you say 17,000 TDS, means almost it's muddy water.
It's muddy. It's really difficult to clear those TDS, in fact. And even if you clear those TDS, if you know that if you clear that TDS, it will be like 70% of the water will be wasted. And where do you take that water? 30% water would be utilized for drinking itself. So it's really like and also the fluoride content. Because of the fluoride content, if you drink fluoride water, your teeth, your bones will get affected. And I can see children with bones rippled and those sort of things. It's very difficult out there.
Okay, so you have taken your 2 minutes. Only 2 minutes are left for you. So these tables are this table is vacant. Should we invite people from that side or from that side? From where we are getting more noise? This side or that side? Who would want to come here? These chairs are, I think this side we can request people. If you can kindly come here, that side. Can we come? Can you occupy these chairs, please? That will be great. I think you can also please come. In the last row. Yeah, please. Thank you. So now we have Global Director of Lindström, Global Director of Pharma, but he will not talk about pharma. He will talk about something else, Manas Kumar. So Manas, your experience is very, very unique. And I personally learned a lot. And I request you to kindly give a brief about what exactly you do. You can take all your 4 minutes now and then keep quiet after that. Because ultimately, once you will start speaking, I'm sure there will be pin drop silence and they would love to hear from you, your experience. You have a mic with you?
Yeah. Thanks for the nice introduction. Just to give you a brief about Lindström, we are a Finnish company founded 176 years back in Finland. If some of you know Finland, it is a company far up in the map, a Nordic country, almost under the snow for almost 6-7 months. But they are very much concerned about the environment. In fact, whole of Europe is pretty much working on the sustainability part, and they have a target to be carbon neutral by 2035. Okay, so that's about Lindström. Just to give you an understanding what we do, we wash garments for all the manufacturing facilities like Unilever's or GSK's and Serum, where your COVID vaccines are manufactured and so on. So we get tons of garments. Globally, we have 74 laundries and we are a water guzzler. Just to give you an idea how much water we use, 600 million liters of water. So that much of water we use, which means effectively you can service 500 swimming pools. So that's Olympic size swimming pool. So we are a water guzzler. So one of the things which is hitting us very badly is that how can we be in the business for another 176 years? You have already noticed that there is a scarcity of water. Wherever we operate, all 74 laundries are operating, most of them are operating in a water-starved. In fact, I have a picture here to show you that we are operating in a water-starved areas, especially some of them which we have highlighted, that India, China, Turkey, some of these countries are hugely water-starved, which means that we have to make certain plans if we want to be in the business, because we cannot wash without water, right? So that we started thinking that, how can we save water? So we did a lot of activity around it. First, we thought that, okay, let me improve our technology so that we can use lesser water. So we started monitoring water from 1991. We reduced water 50%, but at least you need water. Even 50% water is so much, like 600 million liters, right? Then we thought that what else we can do? Then we thought, okay, let's use the water which we are rinsing on the last rinse into the first rinse for the next batch, and then try and reduce the water usage. That is also, we changed the water usage, but then still we still use a lot of water. Then we thought that if we want to be net zero, which is Lindström target, which has been approved by SBTi, by 2050 we want to be carbon neutral. How can also we see that we reduce our water usage? Then we started thinking of how can we recycle the water, and that is what we have now initiated a project, and the project name is Equest. And we have identified 17 laundries which are operating in the water stressed area, and some of them are in India and some of them are in other countries as well. So we started doing some pilots. We failed in some and we got success in some. But one of the pilot which is interesting is about, we partnered with Nalco. Nalco is an American company, part of Ecolab. And we sat together and started working that how can we reclaim the water. So we have a very good news that despite that we use a lot of detergent in our garment, and detergent and an emulsifier, which actually convert into a polymer and then it blocks the membrane. So there is a technology required to handle that. If you at all want to continue your system to work, you need to break that polymer. So together with Nalco, we made that experiment and we successfully reclaiming 75% of the water, which is huge amount of water saving which we are doing at this moment through that project. And now we are taking that project in all the 18 laundries which are operating in the in the water stressed areas, and we are hoping that this will help us to reduce the water usage by Lindström from, let's say, 600 million liters to roughly around 50%. We are trying to, yeah, this is the something which I wanted to share. We are also part of United Nations Global Compact Fast Forward 2030 team. So we are also cooperating with the United Nations Global Compact, which is a voluntary body from the UN. We are working very closely and with other countries as well, and we are looking into even if there are some better technology where we can recover the water more than what currently we have got a result. So if some of you want to visit Chennai, we have put up our first plant. We invested huge amount of money. We still washing garments. We don't recover so much money, but then we decided that if we want to be in business, we need to invest, and that is what we are doing. Yeah.
That is not possible. A businessman not making money, not possible.
It's about survival. It's what you will look for. First, you need to be, you need to survive in that business. If there is no water, how will you survive? In fact, one slide, I wanted to present, which shows you how the water is stressed, and so maybe you can have a look on that slide, and that I prepared. So this is basically will give you an understanding that if we don't take those actions, we probably will be out of our business. So first need is to survive in the business. Then we'll see the profit.
Okay.
So saving water is not, it is must now.
Okay, I think what I'm sure most of you must have missed in what he just now said was that when the last part of the wash happens, at that time the garment is almost clean, right? The detergent is already gone out, but still there is something left. So that water is very, very close to the fresh water, but it has got some impurities, correct? So they bring it back and they use it for the first wash, which anyway brings a lot of dirt. So that means a lot of water is being wasted, is being saved by bringing it. And I believe you have a technology, you have equipment for that.
Yeah, so we have actually patented that. What we need to do that we buy a machine from Electrolux from Sweden, and then we have a company Balanus which is also funded by Lindström. We bring that machine there and we do that kind of change in the machine, that they should take that water and keep it somewhere, and then when it is coming for the next wash, then we should take that last rinse water into first wash. So that also saves you. So just to give you an idea that all of you have a washing machine in your home, right? 6 kg, 7 kg, 8 kg. Do you know how much water it takes in one rinse? 60 liter waters. So it's not that, it's a small amount. You don't see it because it is already connected with your water tap and you hardly see that. But every time, and then when you run that washing machine, pre-wash, main wash, first rinse, second rinse, and third rinse, you are using almost 200 liter of water.
So in my condominium where I live, the entire water is being recycled and it is brought back into our toilets. So some solace. I know the water is not always as clean. Sometimes it is a little bit discolored, and then the residents make some noise, and then they get the equipment right. So I think we are running out of time, and I want to now go to Prabhakant Jain. It's already almost 12:10. So Prabhakant is from DS Group. So DS Group, is a consumer company, and they have excellent products like Catch, Salt, and they work with the farmers also in rubber, in I think sandalwood, and so many areas. So you will share with us as to what work you have done on the water side. Okay, thank you. And you can take your entire quota of 4 minutes.
Thank you very much. So Pulse is also belong to DS Group, the Pulse candy, which is I think the Budge actually the largest selling candy at this moment. So apart from the business, basically we have actually a lot of internal mechanism to save water in our manufacturing, but I am representing the CSR work. My primarily work with the external communities where we are working, and farmers are actually very important stakeholder for us, and we believe that actually there's certain responsibility towards them. And when we were thinking about strategic CSR in 10 years back, so we thought, what should we actually do? There are a lot of possibilities. We can implement our CSR activities, our units around our units also, but we thought we should reach out to the most marginalized section of the society. And farmers are vulnerable. 85% are marginalized farmers in India, so they are vulnerable. We should work with them. And as Sanjay sir, you mentioned that around 85% water is actually consuming in the agriculture sector, and that was the actually triggering statement for us also in way back in 8 and 9 years back. And we started with various water conservation work in different parts of the country. When we realized actually it's not the right approach to reach out, because it's not about the conservation of water. There are a lot of dynamics are also involved around it. So who will actually manage that water? What's the purpose of conservation of that? But there are many questions that were unanswered. So we actually again sit in the team meeting, and we decided to conceptualize a project called Water Economic Zone. So we always thought about the special economic zone for the industry. So we thought actually we should create water economic zone for the farmers, so that actually they can build their livelihood in a much better way. And this water economic zone has actually three major components about the water conservation and livelihood enhancement of farmers through agriculture, and the next one is the market linkages. I'll focus on the water conservation part. So basically, when we conceptualized this project, work started with the identification of the area where we should work. We identified three major areas in the country: Rajasthan, Bundelkhand, and Marathwada, and eventually we zeroed down with the Rajasthan. It's not about the vulnerability of that particular area; it's about our possibility to reach out to that particular area to work, because we also want to involve in those projects. It's not about the funding or funding to the grassroots level organization. It's about our access, our reach out also very important. And in Rajasthan, we decided to work with the tribal belt, in particularly in southern Rajasthan, and work started with the basically gap assessment. You can say that the preparation of detailed project reports. So we identify around 20,000 hectare area in Udaipur, where mostly is the tribal community with the very small land holding that is also undulated. It's not plain land, which kind of land is available here also. So actually the tribals were very concerned about the water availability. They were primarily dependent on the first crop in the Kharif season only. So we actually entered with the detailed project report. We traveled into the remote part of that particular area, and we identified different trenches, different valleys, different streams, first order, second order. There are multiple order of streams are there. So we identify those streams, and finally we prepare a complete TPR to basically what kind of structure that we need to build over there. And community is very integral part of in this exercise, because they actually have the best knowledge about their particular area. And then further we deliver various kind of work. So altogether we have constructed around 1200 water harvesting structure with cumulatively storage around 1 crore cubic meter of water. It's around 18 times more than what we consuming in our business operations. So that is the primary work, and I would love to answer more question if you have any specific question around those work.
Okay, so you must have noticed there is a set methodology which DS Group deployed, that went around the area, saw the area, brought in the experts, looked at what is the kind of surface water and what is the runoff, how much is the quantity, how much we can save, and then implemented it with the help of check dams, or you call it?
There are many kind of structure. It started from continuous contour trenches. There is that Lindström check dams, then check dams to store the water. Their existing water harvesting structure also play very important role in conservation. So we give equal preference to renovation of existing structures. Whatever is the region, it can be in a season rain and their excess rain of water. So there are many regions where the structures are actually broken down. So we repair those structures. We also give weightage to deepening of existing water ponds and everything. So this is the different kind of action as per the geography we implemented.
So it doesn't cost lakhs of rupees. These are small structures and they take only thousands of rupees.
It's no, it's CCT maybe around. It started from, it's a very small trench, but those are in huge numbers. So the cumulative numbers are of course in lakhs. So we built a structure in few lakhs also, or there are structures around 40 lakh, 50 lakh rupees structures also we have built, depending upon the catchment and the capacity of water, because technical aspect is also very, as you said, the social and technical aspect. So impact of that particular structure to the community is also important. Similarly, the technical aspect, the capacity of storage according to the per liter storage point. So there are different aspects actually are there where we evaluate the construction of water harvesting work.
Thank you, Prabhakant. So now Rajesh. So Rajesh Das is a very senior professional. Don't look at his young looks. He has a lot of depth of experience, and he is with Hindware Limited. And Rajesh, you have done a lot of work with Hindware, but you have also done a lot of work before that. So can you bring all your knowledge and tell us, do we have a future as far as water is concerned?
If you'll ask me, then yes, we have a future, and everybody is doing his business, everybody is doing his contribution, everybody, I mean, at individual capacity as well as in organizational capacity, trying to give his or her best in this particular sector. We are seeing technological revival in this particular decade, which we didn't even expect that would happen ever previously 10, 15 years back. To put an example, just since we are in a business of sanitary ware and we are creating equipments, those who are basically used in your bathrooms, sanitation and water goes simultaneously, just like CSR and sustainability. Okay, so I would rather say we are not, directly doing any specific project supporting towards water conservation and all, but there are specific initiatives that we are doing along with our projects which are supporting water conservation. Just a small example, I won't take much time. One program where we are training to the school children, community people, how to conserve water, how to save water, that is one point. Second thing is that through our sanitation facilities, we are trying to convert the wash machines or the taps in such a way that 90% of the water that you are using, that has to be saved. The innovative nozzle system has been developed by Hindware, and everywhere we are working, even through CSR or non-CSR activities, whether it's a community toilet or it's a school toilet, we are utilizing and we're trying to install those nozzles where 90% of water are saved. That is something that I just wanted to share with you. And beyond that, we are also working with the farmer communities, where while my next turn will come, I will in detail explain what are the key initiatives that are doing to conserve water.
Okay, your next turn starts now.
Okay, thank you. See, we have a other vertical which very few people know. If you'll come across to know about a group company, we are probably one of the largest market player of the packaging industry. We are also into this glass bottle manufacturing, the kind of glass that you are seeing. We are also manufacturing liquor bottles. I mean, obviously not for us, for the liquor companies, for the pharma companies, and also any company who is using glass bottles. Wherever our plants are located, we are trying to strengthen the local community through giving them an alternate livelihood options, so that the farmers could enhance their potential income. So while the farmers are utilizing the our CSR project, and they are into our CSR project, so one or two things that I just wanted to highlight, that we have installed IoT systems where the land and its moisture level can be tapped, so that whatever amount of water would be required to the plants, that should be be there at the point of the time, and we would not do over irrigation that we are doing. Simultaneously, we are also ensuring that wherever the plantation is happening, wherever the horticulture or floriculture kind of activities are happening, leakages are not happening. Leakages should not happen. I mean, in every tap, we have installed this leakage-proof sensors for the farmers. It's a very innovative concept, and we are also trying to research with IIT, where waterless urinals as well as reusable water urinals can be introduced in future time, where community toilets or maybe school toilets will have zero water usage. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rajesh. Now I have the best reserved for the last. I request to kindly put up the pictures for the pond man. So when Ramveer speaks, please don't look at him. Look at the pictures that he has created and listen to him. So, Ramveer, you are called the pond man of India or the pond man of the world?
Yes.
Pond man of India or pond man of the world?
Pond man.
Pond man. Pond man. So, pond man, can you tell us what did you do with the pond? And more importantly, is there anything else that you have left for others to do, or you are doing everything by yourself all over India?
Yeah. First of all, thank you so much for giving the opportunity. No one can do all wholesome solution, even neither any NGO or corporate or individual. So these are the like mutual efforts, group efforts, team efforts, we can say. So what we do, like we have mainly three type of ponds in India, like urban area, peri-urban area, rural area, and the forest areas, all those. So we are working all of those ponds, although we are working for the afforestation, mainly urban forest to develop, but because of theme of our water conservation, so I will focus on the water conservation. So what we do, we mainly focus, we clean the water bodies by removing the garbage, by desilting, as all we are doing, and by constructed some water treatment solution. We cannot compare those solution with STP or ETP, but those are very sustainable solution. We can just screen jugad, we can say, at the level of village, because in village and urban area, we when we compare the type of pollution, there are lots of difference. So what we are trying to make them self-sustainable water bodies by collaborating with the local government departments, so they can just give those water bodies for the lotus farming, fish farming, water chestnut farming, and someone can earn from those water bodies, and they can protect and they can take care of those water bodies. So we have restored more than 100 ponds and lakes in all over India with more than 50 corporate partners, because we are NGO, so we always dependent on the corporate partners. So, and we are proudly have more than 50 MNCs partners who are supporting us for these initiatives. And I have some pictures, if you can.
Can you please roll the pictures one by one? Every picture for 10 seconds.
If you see
10
the
seconds.
urban,
10 seconds.
So if you see previous one, please. If you see the water bodies, so these are the common problems you can see screen. Either they are full of the water hyacinth due to the eutrophication. We have just filled them with the solid waste garbage, and either they have lost their water holding capacity due to the silting problem, direct sewage, disturbance of catchment area, and eutrophication. In some of cases, like catchment, we cannot do much because that is a part of government administrative, but we can just clean. Like this is one example of NCR. This is in Wave City, if you in Ghaziabad, near the Ghaziabad and Greater Noida. So we restored with one of our with support of one of our corporate. Next one. So this is the before after picture of same lake. Now the same lake is the residence for more than 20 species of migratory and non-migratory parts. So what is our USP? We are converting those lakes and ponds for the residence of birds, because we know no one of us even villagers are not dependent for the potable water for these lakes. So everyone have water tap connection nowadays. So we have to focus to the region. So left one again we restored last year only in NCR. Right one in, I'm not naming the corporate partners. So right one in Bangalore city. Next one. So we have restored in. So we are working in 6 states right now. Next one. So our USP to restore these water bodies, what I will say our great achievement that now same solution. The pond island system. So we develop pond islands in all the lakes we restored or ponds, and we put and plant some type of specific type of aquatic grasses, so where the leaves of these grasses can be used by aquatic birds for making their nest to hide their eggs or chicks in there. So these, and we have great result of making these islands. Next one. So these are the results of these islands, and we have proved it anytime. And not only as anyone can try it. You will see the great result.
Fantastic.
Next one here. Next one.
Okay,
Thank you so
Uh,
much.
This, please remove this. Huh?
Sorry
No
to
marketing.
interrupt.
So, just 2 minutes. Yeah, because two of our speakers, they didn't really speak much. Huh? So, Anagha, I want to come back to you. Uh, when we were speaking with Prabhakant, he was telling us that if the communities are not involved, then almost all our initiatives fail, whether it is water or any other. So, can you please bring in your experience of handling the entire ecosystem?
Sure. So let me take two examples of two different geographies, which are very unique in terms of, the intensity of water issue. The first one, let me speak about Gujarat and the coastal Gujarat, wherein salinity in Grace was a critical issue. And now to be able to understand what has happened over a period of time, series of conversations which were focused with community, and when I'm saying community, every segment of the community was something that we felt was extremely critical. We also went with the premise that people have the traditional wisdom and understand water issue better than any external agency like us would do. What did we do? With this series, the issue was that salinity in Grace was bothering people in terms of, encroaching their lands for agriculture, impacting the quality of drinking water. What did we do is basically we formed a consortium. It's like a tripartite consortium where Tata Trust, Ambuja Foundation, and Aga Khan Rural Support Program came to be able to handle this issue because the issue is massive, which the entire coastal region of Gujarat is being affected by. So this consortium came together with an idea to be able to think of initiatives which would prevent the salinity in Grace seeping into agriculture land. How did that work? It's basically creating parallel forces on land to be able to curb the salinity. And in that, what did we do? We went back again to the people to understand what was the solution earlier. And they talked about the degraded tidal regulator. They spoke about ability of the people earlier to be able to interlink canals, the pond deepening work that creates pressure on land. So all these series of initiatives that were done actually helped us prevent the seepage of water into agriculture land. And this could happen because of two things. One was convergence. And when I say convergence here, I mean three different organizations with different capabilities coming together. And it is such a powerful solution, primarily because the water issue itself is extremely grave in terms of scale. It is huge, as he rightly said, for one single organization to be able to manage. This particular example I'm sharing, which is a great example of community engagement, wherein we went with a premise of people knowing the solution. We just facilitated the process. Tata Trust brought in funds. And the most important what happened was in the state of Gujarat, most interventions that we tried to implement, about 80% of the funds came from government. So the whole aspect of leveraging government finance or government resource, this was an extremely useful example for us to be able to take to not just deal with water, but to deal with other aspects which are related to water. And as we understand, we cannot exclude agriculture from water and health from water. So this is one example wherein we feel that community engagement is critical. And another point that I would like to make here is community engagement cannot be done after the initiative begins. It has to be an integral part of design of our understanding of the problem. So it has to begin from that end to be able to ensure that everything that was done is still being maintained very well by the people. Over a period of last 3 decades, I'm very happy to put together these figures, although in the first session, and I'm a person who completely believes in qualitative research as well, but numbers bring in the scale. About 66.23 million cubic meter water potential that got created through various efforts in water resource management.
Wonderful. So Tata Trust giving money to Ambuja Foundation. Wow, this is a very good collaboration and the government supporting it. So Khurram has kindly given his time for the question answer session, and we have pressure from the organizers. So before the next session begins and the next panel comes, we can sneak time for a very quick question. Anybody who has got the first question and the only question? Okay, no question. Oh, there is one question. Yes, please. Yeah, you can ask from there, come here, take the mic, whatever.
सर वंडरफुल डिस्कशन सर, जितना भी डिस्कशन हुआ मतलब कोई रीजन स्पेसिफिक था, कोई एरिया स्पेसिफिक था. सर, हैव वी थॉट थ्रू CSR फॉर द वाटर कंजर्वेशन इन टर्म्स ऑफ लाइक सर सबसे ज़्यादा कंजर्वेशन मतलब गॉड इज सो काइंड कि वो सो मच ऑफ रेन होता है हर मानसून में. हैव वी थॉट अबाउट कनेक्टिंग रिवर्स एंड पॉन्ड्स through multi-year project, through like multiple company coming together through CSR and collaborating with the government, connecting rivers and ponds for the long-term sustainability?
There is a concept of UN Global Compact has an organization called CO Water Mandate, and CO Water Mandate also started an initiative called Alliance for Water Stewardship. So they work on the basin. Initially, they were working only on one basin in India, in South India, in Karnataka. Now they are working on 12 basins. And out of those 12 basins, most of those are in South India, but there's one basin which they have selected, and Delhi and Haryana and Karnal and all these areas in the north falls in that basin, where they encourage various corporates, government, multilateral agencies, and the donors to come together and work on this initiative, because on the forefront are the government organizations. Sometimes we do not understand that behind them are the multilateral organizations like FAO or CO Water Mandate and things like that. So thank you very much, and thank you panel. You have been a wonderful panel. Thank you for your time and a wonderful audience. Thank you very much.